Box. Last summer we had new windows put in our old house. We live in a house built back in 1940, and we had all the windows replaced. This is one of the old ones, and I couldn't bear just to let them all be thrown in the trash, so we took a couple little ones, stuck in my attic for a while, and figure out someday we'll figure out we might be able to do something nice with them. Well, I think I came up with a solution. My wife wanted a box to display her mother's quilts, so we're gonna do that with this window. Well, the first thing we needed to do to pull out all this old sharp metal, the sharp pieces, we needed a nice flat surface. We look at all the way around. This is a good surface for the outside. There was some really sharp metal flashing that was on the inside that ran along the inside. We took out everything we didn't need so I could have a flat surface to build the box against. Left some of the hardware on there. We're not going to do anything with the finish. We like it's worn well, so we're hoping to be able to just clean up the windows, maybe get a little bit of the paint off there, and then build an oak box that the window will fit into, get a couple old hinges on it, and put one shelf in the middle. My wife's got several quilts, and we're going to roll those up and put one on each shelf. Well, years ago, my dad built me a bookshelf, and he went a little crazy. He bought all kinds of oak, solid oak, to build the bookshelves, and we moved into our new house, and the bookshelves just weren't able to fit. They were kind of falling apart, so I saved the pieces, and we're going to take some of this old oak, cut it to shape, use it for the frame of the window box.
Wait a sec.
Our situation has not improved.
Okay, now because these windows aren't completely square, I'm going to cut each side of the box individually and measure it, because I want the window to fit inside snugly inside the box. Because ultimately what we want to do is put hinges on the window so she can open the window and pull the quilts out. Probably have to come back each time, just trim a little bit off till it's just right. I won't bore you with all those cuts, so we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, after getting my pieces all to the right length, I got them all squared up. My wife didn't want any screws or anything showing on the side like that because it'll be hanging on the wall. So I did my pocket holes. Did 3 on the top so no one will see from the top, and of course the other 3 on the bottom underneath here. I also did a little dado with my radial arm saw real quick. Took an old piece of pallet wood, planed it down. You can still see some of the aging. Some insect holes, that kind of thing in there. I needed a thin piece to do this middle shelf. So rather than playing this all the way down, I found some oak from my pallet scraps and stuck that in there. I purposely measured it for a really snug fit. You can still see I got a little bit of daylight in between there, but I'm going to put hinges. But I wanted a really tight fit So I use my belt sander to kind of sand the edges of the window so that it would just barely squeak in and fit in that oak box. Okay, we had a last minute design change where my wife decided she wanted a back to this box, which is probably a good idea to better protect the quilts. So I already had it assembled, so I just took my router and routed in about 1/4 of an inch all the way around. Looks like I got to take a little bit more off right here, knock these pieces out. I didn't want to take the box apart again and take them through the table saw, so I just ran the router all the way around the box. So I just cut a piece of underlayment. This stuff is super cheap, and it's just about 1/4 of an inch. But it normally has a pretty decent pattern on it, and we're going to be staining this anyway. But it's about 1/8 of an inch. Cuts, sands, takes stain really well. Actually, it takes it a little too well. It really soaks up the stain, so you got to be careful when you put the when you use the underlayment for the back of your box. Alright, got the box assembled and it's sanded. It's ready to take some stain. So I went with the oak with the darker stain on it, with the hinges on the top, so it would open from the bottom. Just use some old hardware that haven't quite finished yet. We're gonna use that to latch it and get the windows cleaned up. Then the next challenge will be folding up the quilts and getting them in there tight.